Well, Super Saturday is on. We've had 2 games already, and we are going to feature the final game. The Nutmeg Warriors, the Cinnamon Pacers. Let's go for the coin toss. Match ref? All right, so I'm here with the Cinnamon Pacers captain, Ryan. Ryan, you won the toss. What's your decision?
We're going to have a bowl first.
Any particular reason why you would bowl again?
I think the Nutmeg Warriors favor chasing, so we're going to take that away from them.
Okay, so what is the prediction? What do you really want to do? What sort of total?
We'll try to restrict them under 100, and hopefully our batters can chase it after.
All right, well, let's see how that goes. Good luck to you in this match, Ryan.
Thank you.
And we're going to speak with the Nutmeg Warriors captain, Andre Fletcher. Andre, toss not going your way today. You are going to be batting. Tell us what sort of total you're looking to post.
A very competitive total. Once we can restrict them under the score that we post, that will be satisfying. So it's just for us to go there and set a reasonable target and then allow our bowlers to defend it.
Well, so far for today, we've seen all the teams batting first, scoring over 120. Do you think you're ready to maybe get a 140?
Well, I would say maybe things are in our favor because maybe if I had won the toss, I would have bowled first. But having said that, we have the opportunity to set a reasonable total. So it's just for us to go out there and execute each and every plan, and hopefully things go our way.
All right. Any changes to your squad?
Yeah, one change. Sorry, Ramdu is out. He had to go back to do some duties at home, and John Alvi is back in.
All right. Well, good luck to you, Andrea, as you prepare to bat. So that's it for the toss. We are going to see the Nutmeg Warriors. They are going to be batting. Let's see what total they will set. All right. So here we are. It's the final match of the day. It's Super Saturday. Right here at the Lassages playing field, we've had 2 out of 3 very exciting matches filled with runs. The first 2 teams batting first got over 120 runs. And so it makes for a good Saturday. Here with me is Stevenson Worm. And my prediction.
It's so hard really to predict in these 2020 games. So Francis Pauling taking up the attack, and Andrew, Javon Andrew, opening the batting alongside Charles. First over, Nutmeg Warriors. Taking strike first. This is the 3rd and final match of the day. This is Andrew now taking strike. Welcome, Justin, as Rondell has just left us. Got other duties that he's got to perform. Think we're going to have a big one this time, Justin?
Oh, that's the hope, and I think that's what the spectators want.
Yeah, it does generate great interest, the bigger the total. Oh, there was a bit of start and stop. And the ball on is followed through. Hold the return at the keeper's end. But that was close. There was a bit of start and stop, a bit of stutter. In the end, all is well that ends well. But it was a bit of a scary moment there for the batters in Charles and Andrew. Just managed to get home. Charles. Good work by Francis, though. The ball on his follow through. This time the single should be easier. Played with soft hand out to a short extra cover. And gets his second run. Or gets his first run, rather. So it's been a good start here by Jamal Francis. He's been rather economical. 4 deliveries have already gone. And that one is lifted over the infield. It's going down to the boundary. It's pulled back just inside. It looks like, John, the return is going to come to the bowler's end and saved what could have been 4. I think restricted it to 2.
Yeah, good work down there by John. Chasing it all the way and just knocking it back. And the return going. So, in a way, sort of frenetic start already. We've almost had a run out. And probably 2 run outs in the first 2 deliveries.
This one is driven and hit very well. That's a fine shot. Carib power hit maximum. I love the way he struck the ball, really. Notice how he just played through the line of the ball, got under it, and lifted it over the mid-off area, and that went all the way for Carib power hit maximum. Beautiful shot. So the first over completed, and that was a great shot there by Japan Andrew. And the total after 1 over, 11 without loss. So good start by the Nutmeg Warriors.
Of course, good start and sort of breaking the cycle again of wickets falling in the first over. We've really had too much of that already. Yeah, but really good start. Of course, there was a chance for a run out in the over which wasn't completed. So, by and large, it will be I want to anticipate that these teams will probably give us, as you said, Pastor, a rather good encounter this evening. And we really hope that they do.
Yeah, that'll be nice. It'd be nice to see a really close game. Just make it fascinating. Here is the second over, short delivery that he gets on and lifts that over long on for 6. Short delivery there by Hooper. Not very often we see that because he's generally a bowler that is on stream, on some very early. But that one was dragged down and he went under that. And Charles lifted it over long off and it soared over the boundary line for 6. Fine Carib maximum, Carib power hit maximum, 6 runs.
And he has now followed that with 4. Delivery hit okay this time over extra cover and got away to the boundary for 4. So Charles is on the go.
Yeah, certainly is.
An expensive start for Asif Hooper.
Back to back.
Maximum and of course a 4.
Yeah, I love the way that he hit that one. Just rocked onto the back foot but stood tall and spanked it through extra cover. Didn't try to overhit it, but the timing was so good.
Yes, that's it.
17 without loss. There's 2 balls gone in the second over.
This is a good rousing start by the Nutmeg Warriors.
Hey, stop it.
Opens the face of the bat, glides it down to a short third man. Gets a comfortable single. So a rather expensive over by Asif Hooper. By his standards, he's gone for 10 of 3.
All right, thank you.
He probably might have been surprised about those 2 hefty blows that he got.
Still can pull the over back, only 10 so far from the over. And if you go for 10 in a T10, you still think that you managed things quite well.
He's appealed for like before.
Yes. A rather clumsy shot there.
Yes.
By Batter.
So, good comeback by Asif. And just sort of spearing the ball into the leg stump. It doesn't give the batsman the sort of room that he wanted. And after being struck for back-to-back boundaries early on in the over, he ended up very well, completed very well after 2 overs. Nutmeg Warriors, they're 22 without loss.
Well, we'd want to call that damage control. And it's not how you begin, but how you finishes. And he did finish
That's
strong.
correct. How well you finish.
Yeah, 22 without loss, though. And still a good start for the Nutmeg Warriors. Of course, they're the defending champions, and one expect them to if they're going to give this up, they wouldn't give it up without a fight.
No, absolutely not. That one is pole in the air. That's gone all the way. Let's wait to see what the umpire suggests. Yes, it's a carry power hit maximum. It was short. He rocked onto the back foot and pulled it from just a bit outside the arse stump and lifted it sweetly. The timing was superb. And it went way over the boundary line. That was a great shot. Wonderfully struck there by Charles. He's got to 19 of 7.
Well, he's a fairly tall man. He plays very well when upright. And has long levers and using that to his advantage there. A delivery just short of a length, and he just stood up straight and launched it over the onside field. And maximum. Again, but the ball might have gone out of the ground and on this side, down on the western side.
Yeah, how many times we've seen that in the tournament? Well, we do see it at least 2 or 3 times per day. And they've got to have quite a lot of balls to be replacing so frequently.
Charles has gone on to 19 from 7.
They're not cheap these days.
Cricket balls.
Justin, are they these balls? Are
Not
they?
not very cheap at all.
Well, the ball has been changed.
Okay.
This one is lifted straight. Another fine shot. That's another great shot over long on. That's a carry power hit maximum. Fine shot, pitched up. And boy, did Charles come forward and lift that sweetly. He's gone to 26. That was a great shot. Marvelously executed. And he kept his shape well, timed it well. It went for the maximum.
And he is motoring for sure. 25 from 8. Scoring at more than 300. Strike rate. So it means that he's really motoring.
Oh, that's lovely. That was really lovely. Might want to call that. A few have been hit well already in the innings, but that one was ideally special.
Very easy at the crease.
Francis wrong the wicket this time and lifts this one in the air. Somebody is going under it. No, it's gone over the boundary line. That's another carry power hit maximum. Stayed in the air pretty long. Was not hit as cleanly as the previous one. That one went much further in the air. And then gravity decided to pull it down. And by the time gravity prevailed, it was over the boundary line. That's a fine shot, great hit. They've gone very quickly now. Nutmeg Warriors, 40 without loss.
Well, and Charles is on 31 from 9. And
yeah, well, kind of anticlimactic ball. Pushed out on the onside for a single. So Francis has gone for 30. It's been very expensive. And really, Nutmeg Warriors, they're up at just over 15 runs per over into over number 3.
and 2 balls still to get through.
Yeah. Short rising delivery. Good one. Was pulling back the length there, making it challenging for Andrew. Maybe thought about uppercutting it down to third man. But the line was very good, closer to the body. So he could not do much about that one, and there was a bit of height attached to it too.
A dot ball which is worth about a pound of gold in this time.
Lifts that one. Down
And
the
there's
ground,
the wicket.
taken by John. There at long on. He was searching to go over the boundary line again. Andrew this time didn't cue it all that well. And though his shape was good, didn't have sufficient power. John takes the catch. And so the Warriors, Nutmeg Warriors, they've lost their first wicket with Andrews going cut by John at long on. He's gone for 9 of 7. And the Warriors now 41 for 1.
Well, he was stuck in first gear. He really wasn't going anywhere. Charles, in fact, is the man who was really motoring along. And no surprise, Andrew trying to free himself, feeling the pressure of not being able to push it on as quickly as he would have went for it and caught down by Ryan John. And this brings, who I think is Andre Fletcher, the Spice man. This brings him to the crease. And, maybe today. You say pretty earlier on today, maybe today is the day when you will see Andre Andre Fletcher masterclass.
We haven't had a special from him yet, have we?
Well, not to the extent that probably one expect.
Well, the stage is set well for him. It's a good launching pad. 41 for 1 in over number 4. That's a good launching pad. So you can come out there uninhibited. Not with a total of 15 for 3 or 20 for 2. It's 41 for 1.
Yes, boy.
Well bowled. Well bowled there.
Well, good start, eh?
Noel from round the wicket. Just speared that into the off stump. Didn't give it any flight. Any generous flight, rather.
Stop it.
Similar
Lovely,
delivery.
lovely.
That is pushed back to the bowler. And
Mentality.
he's tumbling over. He's got this workman-like approach, very busy. Figure he is, quick to go back to his bowling mark.
Oh,
A
not
bit
bad.
further outside the off stump.
A little too much
And
room,
struck
man.
through the
No, little too much room.
extra cover area for 4.
Stay tight.
Indeed.
Well, it didn't look like 4 at first, Justin, did it?
Well, no, because Trey Duncan is right back on the long off boundary, and there's probably about 25, 30 meter, in fact, 20 to 25, 30 meter gap between himself and the extra cover, and none of them could have gotten across. And by the time Duncan has gotten across, he has gone to the boundary. So the second such shot we have seen from Charles, blistering drive to extra cover.
Yeah, just tucked that one down to deep mid wicket and got a single. So Charles has got to 36 of 14.
Too much.
It's a great start by the Nutmeg Warriors.
Yeah.
Into over number 4. Bowled by Tyrone Noel.
Hey, shot, boy.
Fletcher hits that down to mid wicket. Are they going to come back for the second? Oh, I thought they were going to come back for the second, then decided against it as the return came back.
This would have been suicide.
And you didn't get the impression, Justin, that they scampered the first run. I think they never really stretched
Go ahead, Jay.
themselves out. I believe in running the first run quickly. So important that.
Catch it.
No, that's a big hit. That's a really big hit.
Not bad, not bad.
Came forward, the 50 coming up, and he just lifted it nonchalantly over long off. That's Charles, and it's gone to 43 of 15, but that was a fine shot. Really, really lovely.
they did shout catch it, but there may come a time when we may see drones being used as fielders. And when that time comes, that probably will be a simple catch. But well struck again, a delivery pitched up and just launched it over a long on for another 6. So, as I said, he's really moving on very quickly. He's gone to 43.
A productive over, 12 runs coming off that Noel's over. 50 posted. 50 posted in 3.5 overs. It's 4 overs now, though it's now 53 for 1.
And once again, the Cinnamon Pacers stirring a difficult situation in ahead of them. Projected score now is at 133. And who is to say that they may not be chasing 130, closer to 140?
Ryan John. Interesting shot that, because it was short and rising. And Fletcher just got under it. Now let's look at that again. Nice uppercut. Use the pace of the ball and also the height of it. And just uppercut that down to third man. Did it go all the way? It did. Quite extraordinary. So Fletcher's gone to 7 from 2. That was a great shot. Played with a lot of skill. Here is John to Fletcher. Fletcher pulls a la Gordon Greenwich.
Out.
And taken down at the deep backward square boundary. Deep square leg boundary rather. It was short, went up on one leg and pulled. But he didn't keep it down. And there the fielder was waiting, saying, hey, come into my parlor. Took it with bending knees. And so Fletcher goes for 7. And the Warriors, they've lost another wicket. They're now 59 for 1.
Yeah, 59 for 2. So,
For 2, sorry.
yeah, so and a big fish really in the nets of the Cinnamon. And of course the Nutmeg Warriors captain has to make his way back. It was a good catch though on the boundary. Fielder was almost right back on the ropes, had to ensure that he isn't over or touching the rope at all, and took a confident catch down there. So this brings McDonald.
It's interesting, Justin, that he didn't have to move an inch to his left or right. Just bended the knees as if getting ready to go into supplication. The shot was not a bad shot. Look at it. It was well struck. And right, though, the direction he didn't get right. Almost said right down the throat of the fielder, but let's say right down the stomach of the fielder. So 59 for 2. And Daniel McDonald, Didi is coming to the strike. He gets a single with his first delivery. Well, maybe we'll see something special from Ryan John today. He hasn't had a very good tournament. And the fact that he's bowled several no balls has not helped. And his batting has not been sparkling either. Here's a fine opportunity for him to redeem himself against a very good team, defending champions.
Something we've seen quite a bit of from him. That full deliveries, that we bowled a number of full tosses, some of which were punished. I think.
And that's because simply he's looking for the Yorker. It takes a great deal of skill to bowl that special delivery. You don't turn up on a day and do that. Calls for great practice. Driven, great feeling. Diving away to his left. Just restricting the batsman to one.
It was another full delivery, which McDonald drove down the ground. And Jay Duncan did pretty well, tumbling away to his left
Did a great job.
to effect the save.
Yes, there was a fielder backing him up, but
And that's
nice
tricky.
shot. Nice shot. Nice shot, really. Shot outside the off stump. Just waited, delayed, and opened the face of the bat. Glided it down to backward point between that third man and backward point area. And that raced away to the boundary for 4. Fine shot.
So Dijon,
So that completes the over halfway stage. Is 65 for 2.
Dijon Charles continue on his merry way. And delivery outside the off stump, which he just steered away rather easily for 4 to take him on to 44. So he's one stroke away from from 50. So we're beginning to see a few half centuries popping up here and there. And that also is very good for the tournament. Very good for the spectators who are coming here to see some of their fans, some of their stars. And of course, 65 for 2 means that they have continued. They have lost 2 wickets, yes, but they have continued to score at a relatively consistent rate.
Yes, they're up at 13. That's good after the halfway stage. You don't want to wilt after that, though. This one is hit down to the long off boundary, gets a single. Charles brings his total now to 45. McDonald comes in to strike. He's 5 of 2. Takes his guard. Middle stump guard from what we're seeing here. And then he's asking for an off stump guard. So he's taken 2. The middle stump and the off stump guard. It's one of those traditional things that are done. Justin, I'm going to pose a question to you that maybe wasn't posed to you before. Justin, could you take your own guard? Do you always need the umpire to help you with your guard?
So then the first thing you do is...
Give it some thought first, Justin. Give it some thought.
I would have done it both ways.
That one is lifted down over the boundary line. It has gone all the way, but bounced, in fact, just inside and then went over the boundary line. So 4 runs there from a very good hit by McDonald. Lifted that over the long on area and went for 4. This one wide outside the off stump, let alone. Didn't flash at it. Not very often you leave a delivery alone in T20.
Oh.
This one is lifted down to the long on area, and that's gone again. Oh, that's another 6. And they've got to be very, very careful here because McDonald is really pushing Cinnamon Pacers because it may end up having a big total. 76 for 2 in over number 6.
Yes, and this may require again another replacement ball. It has gone out of the beyond defenses, and in that area where we saw 1 or 2 of them disappeared this morning already. So 76 for 2. We're close to the end of over number 6, and already a rather healthy rate. And McDonald has come out and he's 15 from 6, so he's just keeping that tempo going rather nicely. And,
So, Justin, could we go back now to a discussion about the guard taken? Can some batsmen be able, from where they're standing, to make their own guard?
Yeah, well, I think the thing about it is that depending on when you bat, by the time you get to the crease, there are so many scratches there already that you can pick one, you can choose one, or you choose the most likely one that you may prefer.
There have been a couple of times in my batting experience when I took my own guard.
Yes.
Didn't wait. I went to the front of the stump
Yeah.
and saw where my middle stump was. I walked with a chalk
Yes.
And I mark my God.
Yes, indeed. You can't do that.
That's going to go. Does it go all the way to the boundary?
Yes,
That's
it goes for 4.
another 4. Outside the off stump, and he slapped that through the cover area. So they're coming swift and fast now.
It's a very dangerous lineup, this Nutmeg batting lineup.
Yeah. Nice hit by McDonald. He really is flowing. He's traveling along. This is not a canter. This is a real galloping of an innings. He's 19 of 7. Charles is 45 of 18. So they both are really pushing it very quickly for the Nutmeg Warriors, who are 80 for 2. Just 6 overs gone. Another 4 to go, and don't know. They probably will want another 50 runs.
Yes, which is very possible. Let's see, Cotson Murray comes into the attack.
Comes in at the back end. I think it's a good place to bowl him, though. He is young, inexperienced. That's all right, but he's going to learn. I think he keeps his composure well.
So he'll most likely be bowling the very crucial back end overs, the 7th and 9th over. That's
Yeah, you've got to learn so very quickly these days. There are players all over the world who are starting earlier, putting great energies into their performance and trying to get selected and trying to push their career experience very quickly to get selected early.
So they have seen the back of McDonald. Looking to go big down the ground, not getting hold of it. And Cotson Murray taking it, deciding, well, it was my effort, so let me complete it. And having a good cotton bowl as the ball spiral high into it, but it really didn't go anywhere. And McDonald has to go back for 19. But a breezy, entertaining 19 he did get. And third wicket falling at 81.
Yeah, this is a crucial wicket because McDonald was going so very well. Andrew replaces McDonald. But Charles, a lot would depend on him. He's 46 of 19. He's been hitting the ball cleanly. So he's got to take charge from here for the remaining 3.4 overs.
The Nutmeg Warriors still cannot take the cinnamon pieces for granted. They have within the ranks some very, very good batters. And of course, the rate has just dropped a bit under 13 now.
Wide.
Yes.
Confirmed by the umpire. And it is good also, Justin, to see the left arm seamer. It'd be so nice if every team can have a left arm seamer in the lineup. Driven in the air. That's going down. Oh, is that taken? Oh, that's a great catch. That's a magnificent catch there. It seemed to be John. It was moving away from him. He had to travel about 20 yards to his right. And he dived in the end, full length, and pulled off an absolute blinder. That was stunning. Great catch. Great work.
Yes, and fielding like that is what really you would want to see, because it really can pull things, change things for the opposition. These efforts in the field, and what it means is that a new batsman has to come to the crease, and of course, and dismissing Kellis. So great effort by the captain. If you got to lead, you got to lead by example.
Oh, that was great catching, great catching. And you've got to applaud him. It's not just the final product, but the fact that, Justin, he had to move across to his right, covered some ground, I don't know, maybe about 20 yards, and then had to hurl himself forward quite spectacularly and pulled off an absolute blinder. So Niran Belfon now comes in, will take guard from the umpire. And Murray has picked up 2 for 2. Doing a great job here
What that means
for
is
his
that
team, Cinnamon Pacers.
what that means is that the Nutmeg Warriors have just been slipping back a bit.
Wide signal by the umpire. But they've been fairly disciplined, the Cinnamon Pacers, especially after the 5th or so over. They're into the 7th now. They've done well just to pull things back a bit. Down the leg side. They will come back for a second run. Let's see what the umpire would suggest. 2 wides. So they certainly will be hoping to get up to that 100 mark. Psychological booster.
I think they would get to 200 without not with too much difficulties. They should at least get to 200 to 100.
Looking to cut, but played under the ball. Keeper collecting man the stumps. The sun has really streamed out in ethereal brilliance. Bit humid, I dare say.
You talked earlier, Pastor, about having to keep your concentration. Charles is on 46, 19 balls, and he's been there for a long time. So much has happened since he got to that point.
You're right.
And he haven't had the strike for quite a while. A number of 4 wickets, 3 wickets have fallen. And
yeah, it's important, Justin, when you have one batsman who is really going and flowing, that you give him as much opportunity as possible to face as many balls.
And problem there for Cotson Murray. Yeah, now bowl 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 wide so far, despite the fact that he has taken a wicket, but he's giving it away in wides.
Yeah, I think the idea is maybe to try to keep the ball away from the batsman. But while that's taking place, he is spraying it too far, turning out to be wides.
So he went wicket, but 2 wickets in the over, but the wides have certainly ruined what has been so far. What should have been impressive over by him, when he would have taken 2 wickets. So he had only 4 legitimate deliveries. And with that, the scoring rate has gone back up over 13.
Well, that one is hit over the wideish long off extra cover area. And was that a maximum? Just waited to see if the
looked that
umpire had
way. I think
gone.
it's a maximum.
It may have gone right over the boundary line because we're debarred of seeing the entire field. So it came down, straight down, well, to wideish extra cover rather,
Yes,
wideish mid-off, and it has gone for the maximum.
So Nyron Belfone, he can hit it a long way too. This is what makes this Nutmeg Warriors team such a dangerous team. Almost every batsman that walks in to the crease has the ability to hit those big shots. I know why wide again. I can't believe it. There has to be something fundamentally wrong, Pastor. I don't know if it is run up, if what. It's like an over without end.
I know, and having picked up a couple of wickets and not many runs coming from the bat, he'll be a bit disappointed with
On another
the
wide.
amount of wides that have been bowled. He's got to be careful. Maybe even the umpire would become frustrated that he has to signal with alarming regularity.
We have to get a prop for his arm.
Yeah.
Just keep it out there.
See whether he's going to make amends with this delivery or will he spray it again? There he is. Well, that delivery was hit behind square. And the ball, not a very good piece of fielding there by the backward square fielder. And in the end, it went to the boundary for 4. So the 100 has been posted. It's now 100 for 4. 7 overs gone, 3 remaining. And the run rate is now 14.29.
Well, I'll be very, very, if I'm a fielder, a ball going past me like that, I don't think anyone could really blame him. It was a shot in the dark, more or less. It was probably the best delivery he may have delivered this over. And he still went for 4, the ball coming off the inside edge, a big shot. He could have easily edged it back onto his stump. Instead, it went fine, and it went behind square. And Paul Noel diving away there, had no chance in pulling it back. And another boundary. So 10 to Nyron. 10 from 3 balls in an over that cost quite a lot, because there were about 5 or 6 no balls in there.
No, that's not good bowling at all. Just too many extra deliveries. Because every wide must be bowled over.
So we are looking at a
Nutmeg
total.
Warriors 100 for 4.
We are looking at.
Sorry, Justin.
Yeah, I said we are looking now at a total of, with 3 overs to go, probably in excess of 130.
Ryan John started off at the southern end and switched to the northern end of the ground. It's had a pretty good match so far.
So it must be for Dijon Charles, almost like the beginning of a new innings. It's been to stay away from the strike for so long. So just a check there. It could have been for the no ball, or just waiting to see what the umpire would signal.
John has had his no ball problem, really has. And it's been a couple of times they've gone upstairs to check.
Probably
the
checking for the
legitimacy.
wide, I guess. Probably checking for the wide. But all is well.
So he moves in. 1 for 12 so far into his second over. Full toss. Hit down to the mid-wicket area. And that went all the way for a carry power hit. It was a full toss and got the treatment it deserved.
So that's 50 for, finally, 50 for Charles.
So half century coming up there for Charles. It's gone to 52 of 21. It's been a fine knock, Justin.
Indeed, it's been. And as I said, he's been kept away from the strike for, for a record length time. Probably
Had a big swish at that one. Yeah. Didn't make contact.
looked like a slower bumper by Ryan John, bowling it into the pitch. And Charles was beaten there for pace or the lack of it. The ball really wasn't there.
John 1 for 18.
So
He's not been no ball today, did he?
no. Not yet. Is there another gear probably Charles can engage? Is there another gear Charles can engage out there? He's been motoring.
Yeah,
but
he has been.
Get a feeling that having passed 50.
Oh, just checking that shot. You could see that he was looking for the big booming drive. Might have been the slow ball and just had to check it. Pushed it out for a dot ball to extra cover.
Of course, the length, it was very close to the toes. So, John consistently looking for this Yorker. Every so often he gets one in that area, general area.
Wide confirmed by the umpire.
As well as said confirm, it took quite a while to signal the wide. Extras have really hurt them. Just too many extras.
Yes.
Extras can really hurt you.
In 10-10 cricket, you've got to be careful with that. Those extra balls. That one is lifted and it will go all the way again. Oh, that was a great shot. Again, we see that John was looking for the Yorker. He missed it. And of course, Charles is saying, you miss, I hit. Missed the Yorker. It was half volley line length. And he lifted that over the infield there at wideish mid off and went down to the boundary, over the boundary line for a carry power hit maximum. Fine shot. And he continues to push on. This time he clips it down to long leg and gets a single. So 8 overs gone. 59 to Charles of only 25 balls. And with Belfon 10 from 3, he'll be taking strike. It's 114 for 4.
Yes, 114 for 4. Solid total in the context of the game. Would be in the making here. So these 2 overs would be very, very crucial for the Cinnamon Pacers. And they will certainly need to do lots of damage control here if they are going to chase a total that would not be beyond their capabilities. Of course, they have some firepower within their ranks also. Was Nicosi Saint-Hilaire. Of course, I've seen him getting off on 2 occasions so far. Wonder if there's a third fight in him right away. The part timer, Regis, will be bowling the important ninth over.
So there's a bit of discussion out there. Don't know what all the discussion is all about. The umpire just probably moving forward and giving a bit of explanation. Don't know, but this is a good score here after 8 overs, 114. There are some 12 deliveries to go, the current run rate being 14.25. These last two deliveries, last 2 overs, they'd want to produce 20 runs, I would think.
This one have disappeared. It almost came right into a boot right there past.
That's a big hit.
That was hit big. That was hit long.
There is the thud. We heard the thud on the roof. Tells you how big it was.
Here it comes.
Wow. Great hit.
Yes.
So he's really motoring on, Charles. He's gone to 65 of 26. Boy, oh boy. When you're in touch, you're really in touch. When you're in form. When everything is going for you, well, capitalize on it and ride on that success.
I was wondering whether he had another gear, but even if he doesn't have another gear, he probably does have overdrive.
Boss, got to have another gear.
Yeah. That would be
Sure, of
interesting.
course, the association got this right with all these replacement balls. They had to have anticipated, well, you know, the high chances that balls would be lost and balls gone into the river. Wide signal by the umpire, too far. That will have to be bowled over.
You would have said to the bowler, you're hiding the ball, man. You no longer hear that so often these days that the bowlers are hiding the ball. Oh, and
Regis
another big one. That one
brings
is
him
massive.
forward and he lifts that. And that's, you know, the fielders can only stand and watch helplessly as the ball soars over the boundary line.
Well,
this is a brutal innings.
Not only over the boundary line, it has went well into the car park.
Wow.
Out behind the
Fortunately,
pavilion.
mine is not parked anywhere in that vicinity. What a hit.
127 for 4. This over was always going to be, well, either all or nothing. Sondel Regis is basically a part-timer.
Leaves that one, maybe not hit so cleanly. The catch has been, no, was it taken?
No, it's dropped and probably
It
goes
dropped?
for 4.
Yeah, it may have bumped out of his hand and spilled over the boundary line.
Asif Hooper down there.
Oh, he missed that. But a boundary resulted. We'll get the replay shortly. But he's gone to 77, Charles, of 28. Yeah, well, let's look at it. It was right there in the pouch. Wide signal by the umpire. It's not very often that Hooper would let those go, but that one went out. That's your lucky day, Charles. Ride on it. This one is slash. Looking to go through the offside. Didn't cue it all that well. Dot ball.
Anticlimax.
Regis in again. And that's hitting the air. The catch is going to be... they didn't go one bounce.
Yes, indeed.
Yeah, just a one bounce.
Dropped well short of Ryan John
Yes.
on the long off bungee.
He did take a great catch earlier on. But ball didn't have sufficient power. Wide delivery. Another extra. Oh, they're really making a mess of this.
13
Silverman
extras.
Pacers. What a knock here by Charles.
And Iron Belfont trying to emulate him, but not making contact.
So the over comes to an end. 9 overs gone. Nutmeg Warriors 136 for 4. We could be seeing the biggest total.
I think we have already.
Well,
It
yes,
has surpassed
136.
it has surpassed 135. I think
Yes.
which originally was the largest total. Whether we can break the 150 barrier, I think that would be the question. No, whether they can go 150 or beyond.
Well,
Very-
they've got another 6 deliveries to go.
If we get an over anything close to what we got from Cotson earlier, where a potpourri of wides, we can probably get there.
Yeah, it's quite possible. All you need is 14 of this over. And if you do, it'll be 150.
Well, it's ironic that the Cinnamon Warriors have to be the recipient of this after they themselves has placed the high score, but that will probably just peg things back a bit as Charles was virtually yoked by Murray. In fact, the delivery well pitched up, just coming into the left-hander and probably going too hard and missing the line altogether. But he must be a tired man, Pastor.
Tired man, but you also have to say credit to Kirsten Murray. Wonderful delivery, pitched up, looking to drive. And, well, the Bills dislodge. And a wonderful innings have finally come to an end as he walks back into the hutch. He's obviously very, very impressed, and he would obviously get great congratulations and commendations from his teammates.
Another veteran walks to the crease, John Olive. Still 136 for 5.
Yeah, I think they would still want to have that 150 just in
That's right.
their mind and would want to go for it. And they've got enough wickets there. Don't go patting anything there. Go hard.
But whatever it is, it's already a gigantic total. And it will take some chasing.
Aim for the hills, Olive. Aim for the hills. Well, that one was hit down to wideish long off.
Well done, well done.
Got a
Back
single.
Up, back up. Yeah, twin.
Yeah, few little jitters out in the field by these Cinnamon Pacers. Haven't been as tidy as they could have been.
Thank you.
And they've got quite a few extras.
So another single. Delivery hit down towards Duncan. Down on the boundary. Batsman cross for a single. So this brings Olive back on strike. 138 for 5. Of course, extras are healthy 13. It does help. It's Murray, who is in much better rhythm this over.
Yeah, but he has picked up 3 for 22, which really is quite good. That's the thing. He has been picking up wickets throughout the tournament. Oh, that was really wide. Maybe striding for the one that was pitched up and wide and asking the batsman, Olive, to reach it. But it was much too far outside the off stump.
I have to apologize to all of those who heard my voice. I was just praising him. And another good delivery, which Olive just couldn't get under.
Yeah, I think Oliver is a little bit upset with himself. Guess he's saying, ooh, I should have got onto that one. But that was also well bowled by Murray. Giving credit and for an experienced young man to be bowling in the death overs, he must have a pretty decent cricketing brain to be entrusted with that responsibility. This is the final over. Slapped down to the sweeper position. They come back for the second. The return comes in and they get 2 quite easily. Yeah, so they're going to seemingly fall for under at 150. They're 140 for 5. Well, will. Just the final delivery coming up. Good last over by Murray, Justin.
Yes, but just get the feeling that the damage has already been done. And whatever these two would have gotten in this over is really like just the icing.
Has a big swing at that one and misses everything. So that completes the innings, the Nutmeg Warriors innings. They've done well, very well, extraordinarily well, posting the highest total of the tournament so far, 142, 142 for 5 of 10 overs, Nutmeg Warriors. And that is a great, great innings. Coach Charles was the one responsible for what turns out to be a big total, Justin.
Yes, indeed, he was the one. And that's what you need in this form of the game. At least he opened the batting and he almost batted right through the duration of the 10 overs. And he went at a pretty decent pace too. And at one time, he almost went missing because for about 2 overs, he didn't have a strike at any time. But made up for it again when he got the opportunity. And it's, as I said earlier, it's really ironic that the Cinnamon Pacers, who previously have set the highest total, now has to chase, will have to go better than they did.
So the Cinnamon Pacers bowlers not having the best day. Francis went rather expensive, 1 for 30. There was a wicket for Ryan John, 1 for 26. He too was expensive. But it was Murray, Kirsten Murray, who picked up 3 for 26 with an economy rate of 13. So those were the wicket takers. All in all, nobody had gone into single digit in regards to economy. And in the batting department, what we talk about, Charles, who scored a blistering 78 of 31. It was a fine innings. Daniel McDonald also chipped in very well, 19 of 8, and in the end you had Belfon who got 13 of 7. In the end, 142 for 5, 142 for 5, and this in fact is a brilliant display of batting. The extras were rather heavy, 14 ill-afforded, and all of those contributed in the end to a mammoth total of 142. It means that the Cinnamon Pacers will have to score at 14.26 consistently throughout the innings to be able to overhaul this target. It's not an impossible target, neither is it improbable, but it's going to be quite a challenging task. 142 for 5, and they have to score that at a run rate of 14.26. Let's wait, see what it's going to be. We'll be back here to bring you the run chase.
But we have just seen the first delivery hit through the covers tremendously by Nicosi Centre. Ball pitched up and really giving it a full treatment, Justin playing it smoothly through the offside for 4.
Well, yeah, he posed an immediate danger to the Nutmeg Warriors, Nicosi Centre, and a wonderful shot, perfect extra cover drive, and it goes away to the boundary for 4.
So beautiful to see. Yeah. Really good looking shot. Yeah, really into position, playing it smoothly. Again, hit down to backward point the fielder. They have a little bit of difficulty, but just saving it before it get across the boundary. Quite a big total, 143 for victory.
Yeah.
It's really going to take some batting.
It will. And of course, these two, Nicosi and Josh, are teammates. Of course, we are going to police force pits together. They know each other very well.
So, first over. It will be important for Cinnamon Pieces to get off to a really good start if they're going to really challenge that score. So the likes of Regis and Centre and Hooper, these would be some of the persons that really would have to really step up. Cousin Moore is also a very good player, very good batter. And therefore, these are the players that Cinnamon Piece would be looking to if they're going to really challenge the score of 142 scored by Nutmeg Warriors.
Yes, it will be a challenge. But they got close to that in the first game, scored 135. So if they can get a start, in fact, yesterday I think they would have gotten to what? 80 plus or something? So, yeah. Without losing a wicket. They would want something or a start something close to that today. And if they can get that, then they can challenge the 140, but it will not be an easy chase.
Josh Thomas, former national cricketer.
Two former national cricketers out there. Nicosi himself.
I think he also would have played for the Windward at some times.
Yeah.
The sun comes back shining brightly here at the Lassages playing field. And this Dream 11 Spiceisle T10, this tournament will attract quite a big the viewership right here at the Lassages playing field. As we look on the outside, Justin, and see the volume of vehicles and the amount of spectators, really it's encouraging.
Yes, and apart from the clapping and the chatter here sometimes from the teammates downstairs, of course you do hear quite a lot of noise coming from the spectators when a catch probably is being spilled or taken. Some people are certainly roaring for the team out there.
Yeah, it's very encouraging to see. Very encouraging to see the spectators. I had a walk just a while ago just to look at what's happening on the other side, and really has been a tremendous setting. Persons are into the game. Just to remind that there also are some number of shots,
on sale,
replicas on sale.
It's quite reasonable. You get 2 for $150. 1 for 100.
It's really have been a festive activity, along with some giveaways. Some persons winning, hitting the stumps and so forth. So really have been really an encouraging sight. As we see the end of the first over, Cinnamon Pieces, 6 without loss. And they would really need to begin to hit boundaries. Thomas just going for 6 in his first over.
Yesterday we saw Nyron Belfone mixing his pace up very, very nicely. He did pick up a wicket or two and certainly kept the batsmen at bay. It's very, very good change of pace. Took a lot of pace off the ball for the most part. I think he will continue to do the same thing. Probably look to bowl that full wide line, pace off. In fact, that was pace on, that was short, and they're looking to pull.
And you see the bowlers are still extracting a great deal of bunks. I thought that certainly they had to be, was rushing to the shot. The ball bounced a little higher than he expected. And just get it down to that square leg position, forward square leg. But there was no confidence in the shot. Really, he was not in control. Fletcher making the adjustment, bringing the field a bit squarer.
Another delivery which went through at pretty good height, almost shoulder height to Shondell Regis.
Yeah, good bunks there by Belfon. Has slowed somewhat in his pace. But as you said, really used a lot of guile.
There we saw the first pace-off delivery, and Sheldon Regis had to wait for years almost for the ball to get to him. And so I think we'll see a lot of that again from Nyron Belfon.
Yeah, good thinking by Belfon.
If it works, why change it?
And we've seen some of the bowlers have been really skilled at using those slower deliveries. He is one of them.
There's two slower ones in a row now.
And one could
to each
just look
batsman.
back and think about some of the bowlers who would have done that. Neil and Pascal. You have people like
Narain.
Dubisset
Yeah.
and Narain. Yeah, certainly. It has become a feature of the bowling. But Pacers into the second over, just 9. Hit down to backwards. Got a bit of indecision there in terms of the running. One felt that they should have picked up 2 runs there.
They should have.
The ball shortish in length, hit down to mid-wicket, move forward square leg, and they feel I had to run around. Regis, they're not really getting hold of it, but really should have picked up 2 runs there.
Every single here is vitally important for the Cinnamon Pacers. Again, another slow ball, and one can, but a wide it went down the leg side. But this line, you virtually have to stay away from when it comes to bowling to Nicolas Saint-Hilaire. He loves the ball just around the hip on the legs, on the leg stump.
Yeah, making it a bit difficult with the ball not coming on. Really, more work for the batsman.
And this
It's a
time,
quick
pace on
one.
and complaining. Hard to tell from here, but it did look, well, the umpire is checking. We're going to check to see whether it was over the head. Look more over the shoulder than over the head.
Yeah, well, he's certainly making a check there. Probably the replay is going to tell you whether it was high. Simply look a little concerned, but it's also a quicker delivery. They really rush onto him.
Really rushed through, and nothing in that really. Just as we thought.
So we see the completion of over number 2. Cinnamon Peters 11 without loss. And they really have an uphill task to get 143 for victory.
I think Saint-Hilaire was more surprised than anything else with the pace and bounce and the carry through. And then probably suggesting that the ball would have gone over the head.
Well, we spoke about the variation, and we actually saw it in the over in that. That was a quick delivery. I think he was beaten for pace, not expecting the ball to come so quickly.
Yeah.
And with the height, we just felt, less challenge, see if it was too high. But we see in a force over from Belfont, really good variation. That no ball added one to the score, 12. That wide, rather. Hit high in the air. Let's see the mid-on fielder comes around, settles under it, and takes the catch. And there goes Regis, not being able to clear the mid-on. Okay, in a catch. Good catch being taken there.
By the Spiceman.
That's Andre Fletcher coming around and getting into really good position. And Regis going there. Not troubling the score as much. Regis just going for 2.
Yeah, and yet another wicket has fallen today with the first ball of the third over. Yeah. So I'm sort of trying to keep in check as to how early wickets are falling. And Regis there looking to go big, and once again, the ball, it was not quite there for the shot. It's never going to be able to clear the infield. And Andre Fletcher completing a not too easy catch because it did spiral, it went pretty high.
Yeah, well, after the first 2 overs, which was really tight, you just had probably 11 runs scored off the first 2 overs, 12. And Regis obviously were looking to pick up the pace and really got himself in that position where he had to force it. And was not able to clear the mid-on.
Yeah, Josh Thomas, who has picked up wickets previously, continues to do so.
Thomas is tall, does tend to have the tendency to get the ball to bounce a bit. Another left-hander in Williams. In the air, comes off the edge, and this one goes down to the boundary for 4. Not in control. As Williams is looking to flash. Daniel Williams looking to flash it somewhere through the cover region. And coming off the edge, goes down to more a backward point, a wide third man. He's picking up a boundary in his first delivery.
Of course, a very thickly populated offside field. Only 3 on the onside. You go hard. Once you get it over the infield, you should reap some benefits. Fletcher now going back into what is more like a fly slip or a short third man.
Yeah, and they really have no choice, the cinnamon pieces. They have to go at it. It's already a good start by Nutmeg Warriors. 16 for 1 pieces in the third over. Run rate just over 6.86, and they need in the region of 16.5 runs per over.
Already a mountain. Extras will certainly help.
Right now, you buy 2 carrots, you get a t-shirt for $65.
Well, there's more changes made by Andre Fletcher, bringing up the long leg into a short, fine leg. So a lot of room. Ball is just touched on the leg side, driven high in the air. Let's see, this one gonna drop probably just 1 bounce, and Fletcher having to do some running. 2 runs in the process.
Not timing it as well as he would have liked. Went high, but he didn't really have the legs to take it across the rope or over the boundary, which he was probably looking to do.
19 for 1. Daniel, I think, come in with clear direction in that they need to push on.
Of course.
So we see the mid-off and the mid-on in position. So there's nobody deep. A clip nicely down to that backward square. Go all the way for maximum. Really a good shot. Pitching strain on the legs. And picked up nicely by Williams and clipped over backward square for 6.
Yes, indeed. It was there for the shot. It was pitched up. It was on the leg, somewhere just outside, and all he had to do was to help it on its way, and it went all the way for Carib maximum. Like it went straight out towards the big Carib advertising bottle out there.
Another Carib power hit. Again, wide signal there. Thomas just getting it wrong. Wide down the leg side, wide outside the off stump. A good shot played by Williams.
Indeed.
And the first Carib power hit.
The view, nice view of the stand.
Good pace there by Thomas. And getting good bunks. Williams looking for the attacking shot.
Just the right line. Just slanting also slightly across the left-hander.
Umpire Fraser there. They seem to be concerned about whether he would have overstepped. This is another feature where the umpires had the privilege of checking. No ball being signaled. And that's a free hit. So it speaks to even the quality of the umpire. They are on the ball. Anything that really looks likely, like if it's
the danger of that is the fact that, some of these no balls. I saw one this morning that I thought the umpire could have called. He didn't have, not necessarily had to request help, but that's got the technology, I think. So why not use it?
He's swinging
wide down the leg side, so still a free hit.
Yeah, I think you're always going to find umpires not getting it right, even in terms of the no ball. I mean, there will be some that you miss and some that you call. I mean, I could speak about it because I have the experience knowing what it is like. But as you rightly said, the technology, and they are using this format of technology just to check when they are not sure. They're not being able to do much with that free hit. Just comes off the pad. I just think that this is an addition that we are seeing this time around. I don't think we would have seen the last few T10 tournament.
Yes.
But again, you're trying to make sure that everything we do, every decision you make, is the right one.
Yeah. I think it may not be long before we have referrals. Well, we are ready. It's a form of referral. Well, that was hit so hard. I sent it. It's through extra cover, delivery pitched up just around the off stump, and he belted that. He smoked that through the offside. And after 3 is 31 for 1.
Yeah, superb shot and ball over pitch, and he really smashed it. We have seen him play. This is second shot we have seen him hit through the covers. Really taking advantage of those over pitch delivery, and picked up a beautiful 4 as that one was crushed into the cover boundary. So St. Clair moves to 11, Daniel Williams on 12. And it's 33 for 1. We have 3 completed overs.
I think that the field can now spread a bit more
Yeah, that's middle.
to the first power play.
Bola coming right, I'm over to you.
Dijon Charles had a tremendous knock of 65.
Indeed. It's a very useful cricketer. And
We'll
pace
just-
off.
And Charles, once again, it's so good to know that we even have players from Trinidad and Tobago.
Yes.
Charles coming from Trinidad. This tournament boasts of players from around the region, the Windward Islands, Barbados, Trinidad.
But it's good to see. Probably the only way we are seeing some form of regional integration is through cricket. Think
Well,
the-
we certainly know what sports can do when coming to integration.
Indeed.
Okay, and hit
Think
down.
sports are succeeding where our politicians are failing.
Yeah, you're certainly right. One thing that can bring us together is sports.
Sports.
35 for 1 into the fourth over to Jean Charles. Just a slow medium pace, but you can see that he's mixing it up. Hit down to mid-on really firmly, but only a single.
It's right there, right up close to the toes of the batters, and not giving them the room to free the arms.
Yeah, he's very focused in terms of what he wants to do.
He has a run up to that. It's not very fast, not very calculating. And wide this time. But one could see what he's trying to do.
Yeah, you could see the thinking process in each delivery that he bowls. Looks very focused, as you rightly say, very calculated. There are 3 fielders on the boundary on the leg side. Deep back square mid-wicket, long on. And this one is
Slow
hit,
ball
and this
again.
one down to the man. A
well.
good catch taken there by McDonald. This one that hit down to long off. Again, the batsman decently having to reach for it. Hit it well, but just too close. Look at him having to reach for it. And McDonald coming across, moving to his left. Take a very good catch. Very good wicket, good blow.
Well, a big blow. Well, probably the most significant blow in the Cinnamon Pacers inning. Nicolas Saint-Hilaire, Nicolas Saint-Hilaire. Probably the one man who can really propel them. Well, he and probably Ryan John, although Ryan John is really due for some runs. He really haven't done anything much with the bat so far. And 2 for 37 now, and the opener's gone. Pressure on the Cinnamon Pacers. But the rate mountain going up towards 17. 106 from what? From 40 something, 38 deliveries. So it's getting harder, getting tougher.
Bola is coming right, I'm over.
Yeah, good blow struck there by Nutmeg Warriors. They will be really hoping to get a convincing win.
Go ball.
Timing does try. No ball, in fact.
Yeah. Well good. Surprise me. You in a player? You in a run? What's going to have a free hit?
There's something kind of unique. He seemed to mark his run from the tip of his boots, but sort of walking back to his mark, almost on the line. So he must be pressing, pushing the line quite a bit. And that
Yeah.
was a big no ball.
Really big no ball there. Ball hit high, and this goes for a good hit.
And somewhere down.
Slower delivery over pitch. And he took full advantage of this one. Power hit. And picking up a maximum. Good shot play there. Ryan John, ball over pitch and really hitting it cleanly over long on for 6. And you could see what Charles were really trying to do there. But I think because he took off the pace, it was so slow that he had the opportunity to move across and get into good position and hit it straight for 6. 44 for 2.
White ball.
Another wide.
Yeah, just losing his angle a bit. Seemingly bringing the ball from outside the off some into the right hander. Or just pitching on the wrong line.
Yes, indeed.
Somewhere around middle stump going down the leg side.
Uriah.
And that completes the first over by Charles. Going for 13 in that over. Again, picking up the valuable wicket of St. Clair. And Pacers after 4 overs, 46 for 2.
I think if you're a bowler in these circumstances, if you are told that you can give up 13 for the wicket of St. Hilaire, I think you would happily do that. So, there are some wickets that you really can't put value on.
Yeah, St. Hilaire is one of the mainstay from Cinnamon Pacers. And if they're going to really have to get off to any good start, it would have been important that he be at the wicket for quite a number of time, maybe bat most of the overs.
Yes, he would have.
That was not to be. St. Clair. 12 from 8 deliveries and hit 2 fours.
But the stage is set for Ryan John. Oh, and that may be a no ball. It look high too from here, but we'll see what the umpires say.
Check that. Umpire, check that, please.
Of course, he's a very tall man. And no referral, well, they're asking about it, whether it was over the hip. So I think they did go upstairs to have a look. But it did look
Well, this is a full
high.
toss, but I don't think it was that high. I think
We shall see.
John was able to stroke it fairly fluently to and the covers. I don't think it was that high as
Borderline.
just about wayside, yeah. And an umpire freezer
Yeah, good.
was comfortable with the height.
Yes, it looked borderline. I think height saved the bowler there on this occasion. John being a fairly tall man. As Toussaint, who have had some success and this time is gone for 6.
Here was another Carapore hit ball pitched up, and Williams lifted it over mid wicket. And the fielder again just have to look at it, sail over his head again for another maximum. So Williams continued to push on. He's 20. And we have seen the 50 coming up in the 5th over, 53 for 2. They will need much more of those 6s. So going over cover. Where does this go? Dunk to the man. A beautiful catch. Taking down on that third man boundary. White third man. Gain ball. just outside the off stump, and he had to reach for it, Williams. And looking to clear that area. Probably hit it over cover. And flew off the edge. Go finer than he expected. And really a good catch taken there by Alexander. Who took a really good catch to his left.
Got a fair bit of bat on it too, though. It carry a long way down there, and a good piece. But that's another big wicket again, and another setback for the Cinnamon Pacers. And I was just about to say, you will see as the over probably progress, you will see Enoch to Saint probably pushing the line a little wider, a little further ever so often. And that occasion it was one full and wide, and asking the batter to go after it and trying to reach it, couldn't control it and hit it in the air down to the man down there. So a crucial wicket has fallen again, and probably now the hopes of them might just hang on Asif Hooper and Ryan John, two experienced campaigners.
This would be a critical partnership in these two players. Play together, known each other very well as two Saints. And they could be in trouble. Well, didn't pick up there, but again, he didn't get hold of it. But one has to give Toussaint a lot of credit. This young player that has really come a long way. And even though he was clipped for 6 in that over, but he continued to bowl, and you could see him thinking, pushing the ball wider and wider. And the left-handed Williams, they really trying to hit him somewhere over extra cover. Having to reach for it, wasn't able to get hold of it. But really have been good bowling by Toussaint.
Very disciplined young man, Toussaint. Of course, one who is very approachable, Crony. And one you can have a chat with here and there, so difficult these days with these youngsters, difficult to connect with them. I found them to be one that, rather cool, rather,
Yeah, he's a player that you can give a lot of advice. He's willing to take.
Correct.
And we have certainly seen that his cricket is developing. And bowling to the experienced John. And what has happened with the delivery before, John looking to give himself when I just pushed it wide.
Yeah.
And there was no way that John could have reached it. So he's really thinking. And that speaks well to his cricket. At this young age, we have seen the completion of over number 5. It's 55 for 3. Still a long way to go. Further 88 runs is required. With 30 deliveries left.
Again, when you have as a bowler wickets behind you, when you've been picking up wickets on a regular basis, it makes you a little bit more confident. And Toussaint have had some success in this tournament so far. He's coming behind other man of the match performance so far in the tournament.
So Ryan John, the captain of Cinnamon Pacers.
Andrew Fletcher, of course, would have marshaled his troops rather well so far.
Hit down to backward square. Good shot. Another maximum carry power hit the ball. Pitch up, just sliding down the leg side. And John picked it up nicely. And playing with the tide, hit it over that mid-wicket forward square leg position for 6.
Yeah. You have to continue to do that, and probably a lot more than that. Yeah. There for the taking. It was just back of a length on around the thigh area of John, and it's a strong area for Ryan John. Edge.
And he pick up another boundary here, comes off the edge, looking to swing. The good thing that he would have swung very hard and he took there, just flew over the keeper head, just to the right where first slip would have been, and picking up another
John showed his
boundary.
experience there and playing this little mind games. He would have gone and then step right across the off stump and probably expecting the bowler to oblige by bowling. Looking to push it even wider. And George in the end managing to edge it, get an edge and flew between where first slip and maybe a second slip would have been, but neither of them would have caught that. It went pretty high.
So Charles going for 10 his last 2 deliveries. John is hitting straight.
down the ground.
And let's see this one
And
goes
out.
down to the
And
fielder.
out straight to the Spice man. And celebrating that one. And that indeed is a big one.
Yeah, certainly a big one. It was a slow delivery. And again, he looking to clear that long off and was only able to hold out down to mid off or long off. And Fletcher taking an easy catch.
And just ushering him out. And Fletcher, good boys, good partners, of course. They have all played at that level together. And John, once again, you have to put on that as a failure.
Yeah, he did look promising in this inning. With a couple of shots that he played at 6 over forward square leg there. He looked well, but was not able to go on. I think probably might be the highest score he scored in this tournament, 19.
Yeah.
And he had 2 sixes and 1 4. So this was probably his best inning in the tournaments so far.
But the good thing about Charles is that he wasn't phased. He still bowled it up there saying, have a go again, John. And John obliged, and this time he misfired and he's gone. So 2 for 23 to Charles. So has been and is continuing again to pick up wickets.
Yeah, it has been a good game for Charles. He's coming off 65 that he scored, which really would have transformed the batting of Nutmeg Warriors.
That's why. We've seen a lot of gesticulations coming into the game by the players, the batsmen, almost making early signals for the umpires. Many times the umpires have to tell them hold on and hold on. You know, sometimes you just have to let the umpire do their thing. That's what you have them for. And another wide.
Yeah, Charles said just train a bit. Happy that he will be able to pick up those 2 wickets and just looking to probably develop a little bit more pace or not having the line right, ball sliding down the leg side.
Calvin Bartholomew has come in.
Probably would want to just go back to line and length just to keep the sort of control. And
it's more like the area. They want to Parros.
68 for 4.
And all along the asking rate continues to climb.
Yeah.
Getting up to 17 and a half, almost.
We have 2 fairly fresh batters at the wicket. Hooper on 1 from 1 delivery. Yeah, Bartholomew also on 1 delivery also. Quite a bit of movement on the field.
Yes. I think Fletcher has done a pretty good job, man.
Wow, lovely shot. The cover is going to come around. They come back for 2. Good run in there. This one was shortish in length and played down to point. And the fielder, they dive in. Good stop.
So they must know something very, 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 very much about Tassie Hooper. He just brought the fielder to the right of the umpire. And he was diving away and getting his hand to it. Or else he would have gone for 4. And in that same area again, this time between the two fielders, and that one will run away for 4. So now you understand why he has packed that particular area. It's a very strong area for Asif Hooper.
Yeah, and it was good that I just happened to pick the gap between those two fielders. We had a short third man, and then you had a backward point, fairly straightish, and just was able to evade both of these fielders and dunked to the boundary for 4. But I agree that he certainly knows something about Hooper, having these two fielders in these positions. So we have the completion of 6 overs, 74 for 4. I think now is where you'd expect that the batters turn on the heat if they're going to get anywhere close to the score of 143 that's required for victory.
It's a long, long, long way from here. The total 1-7 from 3. Battle Avenue has just come in. He's 1 from 1.
69 from 4 overs. 2 Saint.
No. Look.
He will need to be screwing a lot more than singles.
Indeed, that is needed is a couple big overs. Maybe more than 1 big over, maybe 2 big overs to just claw your way back, maybe just to cut into that asking rate. And Hooper again going behind point on the offside. And good bit of fielding and quick return back in.
Yeah, good work, 2 Saint, making it rather difficult. Just taking off some pace and bowling it wide off the off stump. And left-handed Hooper having to reach for it. Kevin Bartholomew. Hit down to cover. A young player would have done very well at the under-19 tournament this year. He actually picked up the most wickets in the local inter-parish tournament and was second in the wickets for the Windward Islands tournament. So really had a good tournament. It's one of the pick for the Windward Islands team.
Wondered earlier why how come we didn't see much more some of him quite featuring a lot in the bowling.
Clever bowling by 2 Saint. And Hooper, you could see, looking to give himself, looking to hit. But the ball was never there, just have to come down. And play down to long on. Pick up a single in the process, but no room. And all credit to Enoch 2 Saint. Right up high in the air. And this one will clear the long on fence for really a maximum carry power hit there. Really picked up this one well.
For a little man, certainly that
Bartholomew.
did go a long way. We saw the crowd over on the far side scattering. As the ball came over, we may need a replacement ball most likely. This one may have gone onto the roof of the bottling company over there.
Yeah, very good hit there by Bartholomew. Picked it up really well. And 2 Saint probably again looking for the Yorker. This one just over toss a bit. Get it on the full toss. And we'll dispatch it.
I wonder where he packed that power from.
So another carry power hit, another maximum. As we see the umpires once again have to call for another ball. 84 for 4. We're still into the 7th over.
Still with the 6, it hasn't really done much to cut into the asking rate, which continues to push up towards 20.
Both batsmen on 9. Still looking at 18.63 per over. Really a tough ask. Shot,
And that's gone up into
dunk to
the-
long on. And also clear the boundary for another carry power hit.
So, Asif Hooper just having a look at his bat, only wondering, well, where are you getting this power from?
Yeah, Bartholomew there hitting to maximum to finish off the over, bringing the score to 90. So we have 3 overs to go, and really didn't get hold of it, but the power that he possesses has been able to clear the long on area. So he moves to 15, Bartholomew. 15,
Partnership.
15 from 5 deliveries.
Very good partnership, 25 from 9. So just about what they're looking for.
Batsman bowler returning, left arm over.
Belfont comes back for his second over. 2 good blows struck there by Bartholomew.
And this one has gone away again. This time it looked like maybe one bounce. It's gone all the way, in fact.
Yes, another maximum. She's short and Hooper into this one and hitting it down to long leg area. And picking up another 6. Another carry power hit. And 96 for 4. Dealing in 6's last 3 deliveries.
Yes, they will
All
have
clearing
to,
the ropes.
they will have to do that if they are to get back in contention. 47 and 17 is not out of reach.
But the run rate goes on to 16.59.
And there's the slower ball, the change of pace by Belfont, which has worked really well for him in this tournament so far.
Yeah. They will have to be scoring boundaries consistently. We are into the 8th over.
And again, another slow ball outside the off stump. And as one can see, Asif Hooper straining to get to it. And couldn't quite get to it. Probably you need a longer bat.
Yeah, very good bowling.
Probably I can send the helmet away, so maybe just strain it a bit under the helmet. So one expects probably a 4 or a maximum now that he has sent the helmet away. Feeling that he has been suppressed by the helmet.
Hooper is 15 from 8. Bartholomew is 15 from 5.
Again a slower ball, and again very well bowled indeed. And really fox Hooper. We can see Hooper being rather disgusted that he couldn't get it away, but 3 very good slower deliveries in succession. And dot balls could only hurt one team, as the rate now has gone up to over 20 for the first time.
Yeah, good sensible bowling by Belfont. I think something's going to give here.
Being totally bamboozled by the slower ball. So you've seen 4 in a row after the 6 by Asif Hooper.
Yeah, really has been a tremendous spell by Belfont.
So the batsmen now have to determine what would be an easy chase here, how much they would want to probably get in the final over. As it stands now is 21 and over. And the way it looks. Oh. Yeah, so the end of another over.
Yeah, it has been the end of a really a tremendous over. It's a number of slow deliveries.
Yeah.
And the batsman, they really have trying to reach for it. But good over. Belfon concluded spell, 2 overs. He had none for 12. And
Normally at this stage, Andrew Fletcher will have a bowl. He's probably doing that now. I want to believe. No, in fact, McDonald will probably have the honors.
The off spin of McDonald.
Yeah.
So the run rate has gone up to 23. We have 2 overs remaining. And you have 46 runs to get.
Let's go, Cooley. Let's go, Cooley.
If they do manage to get up to that total, it will be really, really something to behold here. It will be pandemonium.
Let's go, Cools. Let's go, Cools.
They need a big over, something close to 20.
Drop inside the line. When he say he on top here, coulda. He. So if he on top here,
Daniel McDonald in off spin, and he's bowling to the left-handed Hooper. Asif Hooper.
exactly. You go, Cooley. Get up.
Hit straight back.
One.
And it's going to rush down to the boundary, and good stop.
Well done, Fletch.
It
Well done,
goes for
Fletch.
4. No, yeah, good stop down there.
Fletcher coming across quickly from long on. And just dive in.
Wait, no. Come.
But losing his shape, losing his...
Again, Hooper just seemed to have done some damage there. I know if he probably would have hit that ball into his knee. Struggle a bit. Get back up.
Most importantly, another dot ball. Again. Good thinking by McDonald. Just darting it into the pad. And Hooper looking... taking his hands away.
That's it. Just one.
Likes to go square on the offside.
Point.
It's probably safe to say it's all over by the shouting. Asking rate now has gone up over 30. Really not getting the production they needed in this over to bring it close.
Yeah, been a good display by Nutmeg Warriors. I think they played really well. They seem to be in control even with the ball in their approach. This one is hit down to mid-wicket. And the fielder comes off the boundary. They come back for 2. Certainly, they need much more than picking up 1s and 2s. That have been really a good over by McDonald. Really quick over. And makes it really, really difficult for the batsman.
And one can see the Nutmeg Warriors really enjoying themselves out there. And I think that's a sign of confidence, a sign that they're really into their work.
Yeah, being in total control. As the sun would have moved away from the ground. Hit down to mid-off. He's going to drop short to the mid-off fielder. And they pick up another 2. I don't think Nutmeg Warriors would be too worried about that. It's the end of the 9th over, 104 for 4. And really they will need to get some 39 runs in this final over. It had to be more than 6 sixes.
Yes, it had to be more
There
than
had
6
to be
sixes.
probably some extras wide. a no ball. But again, have been good performance by Nutmeg Warriors.
So no way they can lose again. It's probably the best over to bowl in a cricket match, knowing that despite how many runs come off your bowling, you can't lose the game.
So both batsmen on 19, Batchelor 19 from 8 deliveries and Hooper 19 from 14 deliveries. McDonald is going for 7 in this first over and only over. As we see, the final over is about to commence. And Michael Henry. Let's see, just about medium pace.
This, of course, is a sort of demonstration. It's brought the feeling that we have this thing all covered.
So play down to long on by Hooper. Just amble a single.
It's all over by the shouting. Gotta look towards another day now.
Again, it's just about over. Let's see another dot delivery.
Once again, we've seen another emphatic victory.
And we just trying to make sure we complete this over.
It's certainly gotten a bit dark here.
Yeah, so the sun would move away. Just a bit of a cloud building up.
In fact, there is some droplets, a little bit of rain just coming down.
High in the air. See where does this go? Down to the fielder.
Oh, he dropped it, in fact.
Oh, dropped the catch there.
In fact, the captain himself, Andrew Fletcher,
Yeah,
got right underneath it. And he couldn't hold on to it.
with this disappointment there, Fletcher will be disappointed.
And the covers, in fact, some confusion there. The guys are wanting to bring on the covers and the umpire telling them, hold on, hold on. Only 2 deliveries to go, in fact. And really, now they are called onto the field as the rain just gotten a little bit heavier. And I don't think the Nutmeg Warriors are in any danger at all. The Duckworth Lewis pass score is 134. Wow, it has really come down now.
Yeah, really a heavy show has just come down.
Sharp.
So with just 2 deliveries remaining, 108 for 4. And Nutmeg Warriors certainly will come off victory in this one. Duckworth Lewis, but really have been dominant performance by Nutmeg Warriors. The cinnamon pieces just was not up to it. Really didn't have the sort of fight really to chase that score. Has been the biggest score in the tournament of 142.
What a real challenge there for the Bronxmen. The wind has picked up. One can virtually see it in the flags.
Yeah.
And of course the sponsors logo.
Yeah, the feather bands and so forth really has been, you see the wind being pushing it from all angles. But has been another good game. Despite we had some rain, this rain just coming at the end. But really have been a good victory by Nutmeg Warriors. I think it all started with the batting performance of Nutmeg Warriors, getting up to 142, which at this time is the highest total by any team. Really made it. It was really difficult for the Cinnamon Pacers, who really struggled right through just with this last pair of Hooper and Bartholomew. Both ended Hooper 21 from 16 and Bartholomew 20 from 11. But I think it was all Nutmeg Warriors as they completed a real emphatic victory.
Oh yes, Nutmeg Warriors, they've really played handsomely well. And they did the right thing, getting a mammoth total on the scoreboard. And having that sort of total, there are a bit of risk that they could take. And then the Cinnamon Pacers, of course, would have to really push themselves. And in the process, they can bring about their demise. I think they made an effort at this. Just 2 balls remaining in the innings, 109 for 4. So obviously the match is going the direction of the Nutmeg Warriors. But I think for the competition itself, Rafael, it's nice to see that we've got a big total, 142, and then the Cinnamon Pacers chasing down, getting beyond 100. I think this match was a little bit more enterprising. And many of the fans who have come here, you could see that they obviously got into the game themselves and they were cheering on their favorite team.
Yeah, you're right. And the fans were into the team. A matter of fact, they're looking to get the jerseys or the shirts that support the team. And as you said, the batsmen seem to be more and more coming into their own. 142 obviously meant that the top batters would have to put their head down and bat, and we would have seen that. We probably would have seen that in the earlier games today. We didn't see it happen from the Cinnamon Pacers. With the boast of good players on that squad, really never got off. And if your top players are not contributing, it makes it really difficult for the team to do well.
Yeah, you're right. Your key players are expected to put their hands up, ready to produce, ready to show, in fact, that they're the ones that should be shouldering the bulk of the responsibility. And when you've got a team where your senior players don't really perform as they would like, then the chances of you not being victorious is high. Now, let's look, for example, at Asif Hooper, who 21 of 16. We know his capability. On another day, he may be 21 of 8. Number of slow balls were bowled to him, didn't negotiate them particularly well. And even in the bowling department, it was not necessarily his best bowling performance today.
Yeah, and you speak about the bowling, but one must credit the bowlers. I thought that the bowlers bowled pretty well. We see McDonald came in very good over. And Enoch Hussain, a lot of credit has to go for this young player who would have come in and really seemed to have understood this game rather quickly. He used a lot of guys, slower deliveries. He knew what he was doing. And I thought that the bowlers really didn't give them much of a chance. They bowled very well. And so put the batters under pressure, making them take the extra chances. But I think a lot of credit need to be given to the bowlers.
Well, their covering of the pitch, of course, is taking place now. The rain is still coming, albeit not very heavy, not torrentially, but enough to ensure that play was aborted. And more likely that's going to be the end for today, with the square being the pitch itself being covered. That's so very important. They've been making sure that there are no seepage whatsoever. That's important. Any bit of seepage can affect the next game tomorrow. And full credit, of course, to the ground staff. They've done a pretty good job. And talking about a pretty good job, Raphael, not just the overall ground that they've kept pretty well and well manicured, but I think by extension, they've produced a couple of good pitches. And by and large, the batsmen can't talk about not having good pitches to bat on.
Yeah, you're certainly right. The pitch has been really good. I don't think there can be any complaint in terms of how the pitch has played. It has played good for batting. And the spinners probably would have enjoyed it a bit, but not to say that it's doing anything extraordinary. But I just think generally the slower bowlers create more problem for our batsmen, and that is what happened. But again, credit to the ground staff, led by Theo, did a tremendous job. And I think all can be satisfied in terms of what we would have provided in terms of the pitch, in terms of the outfield. And certainly they would have done a great job to make sure that all these games have been played for the first week of the tournament. But just to give you a little update and a rundown of the scorecard, needing 143 for victory. And St. Clair, he went first, he caught McDonald, bowled Charles, he got 12. Regis caught Fletcher, bowled Thomas, 2. Daniel Williams caught Alexander, bowled 2, say 20. We had Ryan John, who caught Fletcher, bowled bowled Charles for 19. Asif Hooper not out 21. Kevin Bartholomew not out 21. And in 9.4 overs with the rain coming down, they ended at 109 for 4. Thomas, 2 overs for 27, he picked up 1 wicket. Belfont, 2 overs for 12. Charles, 2 overs for 32, bit on the expensive side, picked up 2 wickets. Toussaint, 2 overs for 25, picked up 1 wicket. And Daniel McDonald, 1 over 7 runs. And Henry in his first over, 4 overs for 5 runs. And he didn't pick up a wicket. A really all-round good bowling performance by the Nutmeg Warriors. And certainly they would have won this game convincingly.
They're a pretty well-balanced team, and one could understand why they're the defending champions. Got good batting, not just with the top order, but lower down. So when the top order doesn't really come off, then you've got others that can chime in and give good scores. Let's look, for example, Andre Fletcher, who didn't come off today, and he's one of the mainstay of the Nutmeg Warriors batting. However, they still were able to muster 142 for 5, 142 for 5 of 10, and considering their most senior player and most prolific player did not get among the runs. So it just tells you how important it is when other players lift their hand up and say, look, this is my day, this is my opportunity, this is my time to showcase my skill. And I always love to see, Raphael, where players do regard action when maybe a top order doesn't really perform very well. The bottom half can come and just restore things. I think that Nutmeg Warriors got a good team here.
Yeah, and that's what makes your team strong. In that if your top player doesn't perform, then you have the other players who would step forward and do well, and we would have seen it today. And Nutmeg Warriors, I think, would feel a lot more comfortable. The fact that you have your players, the bottom half is producing, even though the top half has not produced. This will give you a great deal of confidence going forward for the rest of the tournament.
Yes, absolutely. Well, we still would await the official declaration by the umpires. Cinnamon Pacers 109 for 4 of 9.4. Just 2 legal deliveries to be bowled. Just 2 deliveries to be bowled. And Cinnamon Pacers still required 34 runs of those 2 deliveries. The ground is covered. I can't see them taking off the cover again. More likely that it's going to be at the end of the day. But we will obviously, through the Duckworth Lewis situation, be able to tell exactly what the margin of victory is going to be like. Of course, Nutmeg Warriors will be proclaimed the winner of this encounter. It's sort of anticlimactic, Raphael. Just 2 overs to go, 2 balls to go, and the rain came down.
Yeah, certainly would always want to know that we finish well. This was a Saturday that we was not able to have the completion of the game itself, but certainly we are in a position to determine who would come out victors. And we know that Nutmeg Warriors, based on the Duckwood Loose, will easily come out to be winners with this 2 days remaining with 39 runs to get. Really impossible. I think we are still pleased to know that we are the 12th game in this tournament, and we still have been able to get all completed. Certainly, we are thankful that we had some beautiful weather that we have been able to have those games.
Yes, it really was. It really has been great weather so far, and a great tournament as a whole so far. And we still got quite a bit to go. We're just about approaching the halfway stage, Raphael. Yeah, just about there. So no team can really say that they're in the ascendancy per se. It's still early days. And when it comes down to the latter half of the tournament, that's where things might just get even more enthralling and more interesting.
Yes,
good crowd turnout today.
A very good crowd. I mean, yeah, so encouraged when you see the amount of spectators that have been there. You know, they're still around, and the support from the stand, because it seems as though, you know, each of the team have the supporters. And it really was encouraging to see the sort of support that we had out there for the tournament today. And one thinks, based on all the discussion outside there, that it's going to continue. We do have 2 games to play tomorrow, Sunday. This tournament will continue throughout the week with 2 matches every day until we come down to the big ones next Saturday and Sunday. So there's a lot that lot is coming, and certainly we would hope that we continue to get the kind of support that we would have got today. So just to let you know that at the end of today's game, I thought we are going to have any presentation today. Probably going to be left until maybe tomorrow. But just to let you know that we have come to the end of today's play. We had 3 matches today, which all turned out very well, very, attractive. And at the end of this last game, Nutmeg Warriors coming out on top. So we'll invite you to join us again tomorrow. We should be here for the game starting at 12, just about 12 tomorrow. So maybe just about 11:30 tomorrow. We should back on it just to continue to give you commentary on these games, and hope that you would join us from wherever you are. So we wish you good evening, good night, wherever you are. And please feel free to be with us tomorrow as we continue this tournament.